Hello and welcome to another Overlord lore video, and today we are going to take another look at Ainz Ooal Gown's children, this time at his son. And just like last time, remember that these are what-if characters that I made up because the community asked me to, and none of this is canon. And before we start, let me thank my Patreons for supporting this channel, as well as all users of the YouTube thanks function who made one-time donations. Now with that said, just like last time, when I analyzed Ainz Ooal Gown's daughter, I will assume that Ainz somehow found a way to deepen his relationship with Albedo in order to conceive his twin children. By the way, you can find the first part where I analyze Ainz Ooal Gown's hypothetical daughter, Lilith, and another video where I explain if and how Ainz Ooal Gown could even have children, linked down in the description. And if I forgot to put it in this place, please say so. And with that said, let's dive into the twin brother of Lilith. And unlike her, who looks way more like her mother than her father, but has taken a liking to her father's more magical fighting style, but ended up with negative 500 in karma, and therefore with a very evil outlook on the world, Ainz Ooal Gown's son looks way more like his father, has had a keen interest in fighting like his mother, and acquired a karma value, a sense of justice as it is called here, of positive 500. Which brings us to his childhood, which was very much like that of his twin sister. But while Lilith always found the tale of the hero Touch Me saving Ainz Ooal Gown at his weakest boring and a bit embarrassing, to be honest, and always wanted to hear more about Ulbertale Odl, specifically his plan to find a world-class item to create a demon army with endless numbers, way more interesting, to Hephaestus, named after the Greek god of volcanoes, fire and smithing, for his burning obsidian-like skeleton, the tale of someone saving his father and thereby his sister and himself was fascinating, especially since Ainz Ooal Gown was later voted to be the leader of all supreme beings, including Touch Me. So Touch Me became his idol, and just like his sister Lilith, Hephaestus loved to walk among the mortals of the Sorcerer Kingdom, not to get praised or adoration, and not to be surrounded by so much life that one could potentially consume and devour, or sacrificed for some sort of grand, catastrophic spell like Lilith always fantasized about. But Ainz Ooal Gown's son enjoyed the peace, the wealth, and the tranquility his father had created. To him, it was something divine, and he wanted to protect it with any and all means. And to get to a more personal side of him, before we take a closer look at his stats, Hephaestus likes reading heroic tales, he loves painting with charcoal, and dreams about liberating the last remaining continent from the yoke of unjust, cruel tyrant kings, together with his sister, because he hopes that Lilith will eventually come to see these creatures of the new world, just like his father intended to, as beings deserving of love, harmony, and the pursuit of happiness. Next in line we have the topic of his residency, and he shares the location at the Cuts Plain, but lives in his own separate tower. I've been over it in great detail in Lilith's video, so I'm going to skip further explanations and go straight to his level and classes. While his skeleton warrior levels aren't something special and his base class is very unimpressive, ever since he has one single level acquired, all those centuries ago, and was born, Hephaestus was able to bathe himself in fire, which was very uncommon, especially for an undead, supposedly weak to fire, but in fact he has a 100% resistance to fire-based damage, and his fiery talent only hurts others if he actively commands it so. Something Albedo was especially thankful for. His obsidian bones were more bathed in an unholy aura rather than actually burning, his fingers and toes, later his hands and feet, and then finally his entire body could eventually be transformed into incredibly sharp blades that outclassed a normal scalpel with ease. But the final touch upon his character build came to Hephaestus when he finally learned to control his secret fire, and became a proper infernal, which is the equivalent to the Eclipse class of Ainz Ooal Gown, as in it contains a skill that makes Hephaestus, in spite of his glass bones, very good on the defense, much to Albedo's delight. The ability to overmax his already maxed out agility, and his fire already gave him an easy time to fuel his speed, and ever since his earliest childhood, he used it to propel himself forward whenever someone was in danger, so that he could rush to their aid, therefore turbo-leveling his speed, and hitting him while he uses his Burning Desires ability is nearly impossible, as Hephaestus is literally the embodiment of the teleports behind you meme, for his fast movements leave the impression that he had already disappeared, for only the pleasant smell of burning charcoal and his afterimage to remain. Since Hephaestus also doesn't suffer from the same emotional inertness as his father, he is much more lively and able to ignite a flame in the hearts of others, as well as his own. That's why he acquired 10 levels in Emberbringer, a class that supports himself as well as his followers with various buffs and blessings. His legions are also known for being granted burning auras, or flaming swords on a frequent basis, or fiery spirits, latching out against any attacks of their enemies. And due to Hephaestus' speed and his racial class of Bladebone, the son of Ainz Ooal Gown also acquired the class of Obsidian Scythe after training intensely with Cocytus, something Shizo Delta and Yuri Alpha celebrate to this day, since Hephaestus' favorites mates were witness when he first acquired it. Sebastian is also proud of him learning to use his Ember Aura like he would use his Ki, like his creator Touch Me had intended. And with that said, let's move on to his stats. The HP of Hephaestus is, due to his strong life force and jubilant nature, very high compared to that of Ainz, but still somewhat lags behind that of Albedo, due to the fact that his fire aura is a talent as well as his blessing. He only uses his MP to fuel the odd support magic and buff spell here and there, but his main strength is in his attack power and in his agility, caring very little for being larger than even Ainz Ooal Gown. Due to Albedo's more monkey-like features, Hephaestus finds it incredibly easy to move around and places incredibly sharp obsidian-like bones into the enemy's weak spot. And he fights somewhat cat-like, something his father is very proud of teaching him. But in turn his physical and magical defense are quite weak, though this is more than compensated by his speed. And it actually has risen quite a bit due to the combined training Sebastian and Albedo has given him, while he owes much to his offensive stats to the training with Uncle Cocytus, who still enjoys it when Ain's son rides his back, like he did when he was little. Now his magic attack is unsurprisingly primarily used for buff spells and therefore quite weak, but in turn his resistance and especially his special abilities are quite high, and Albedo prides herself on enabling his son to defend himself so well in this regard. And both Hephaestus' and Lilith's special abilities are also the result of intensive training with their older brother, Pandora's Actor. And with that said, I say thank you very much for watching. And I also heard you when you demanded that I should take a look at how the hypothetical children of Ainz Ooal Gown and a certain undead Floor Guardian would look like. And with that said, let me also give my special thanks to Badger Yi, Ben C, Chrissy, Crowley 0221, Sia, Death is Mercy, Deathless Dragonlord, Dystopia II, Enigmatic Unicorn, Feral Shivan, Guy with That Hat, Hector Marino, Hoss, Huster, Jacob G, Jana B, Jason, Chromius, Legendarius, Lelouch Britannia with a Mustache, Lexus Fox, Lord Nishikian Rai, Lord Touch Me, Merovec, Mr. Shoes, Mr. Tweaker, Michael R, Michael Y, Normal Toad, O'Kill, Overlord General Gasper, Perdipantum, Personage, Primus 11, Shadow Lightning Wolf, Shrine Keeper, Ted, Texas Deer, the Orc Warboss Rocket Smasher, T.E. Wang, Vash Hawkeye, Vegito 27, Venture Fanatic, Wilhelm, and Zonegon. Thanks guys. Anyway, have a nice day, and I hope to see you all again soon under my next video.